Hello and welcome back. This go round, I'm going to take a look at The King of Fighters 2000 by SNK. Rated at 688 megs. Came out in 2000, of course. And it is the final game, or final King of Fighters game, made by the old SNK. And I've never really talked about The King of Fighters 2000. It's one of those games that has a lot of mixed reactions. Because while it improves on certain things from the previous installment, it doesn't really do anything to really move the series into a newer direction. It just improves on what was the previous, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but in any game you really like to see a dramatic improvement. Alright, so basically the story revolves around that whole Nest saga from the previous one. It has like Hydern and some, like, basically looking over Southtown, seeing, you know, the terrorists are taking over, Kay's involved, this guy, and a couple others, and there's some betrayal in there, and then there's the new final boss, Zero. Not to get too bogged into the story, but it basically just keeps on moving on until the next saga, which basically ends it. So, yeah, so that's basically it. What's new about this game? Nothing too much other than a bit of improvement over the striker system from the previous games. And, few new characters. Some are interesting, some are shit. And, they still have the modes, they still continue the modes of the armor mode and the counter mode. The armor mode is more like you can just take damage and knock it back. And you can just keep progressing forward. And counter mode, you can just use unlimited supers. And I think you can do some cancels and stuff. So, yeah, so the biggest attraction to this game is the strikers, because they pull a lot of strikers from different SNK IPs. Like, they have, like, some from, like, Samurai Showdown, some from Last Blade. They even have, some, what do you call it, Metal Slug, I think Theo. And I know they have Duke from, who the fuck, Burning Fight. And, a couple other ones, just here and there. Which is actually really nice. It's kind of like SNK fanfare type of thing. Now, here thing you see, as Kasumi I picked, but then you can also choose an alternate Xingfei. So, I'll go with Kasumi. And each one has something different. Some of them actually use an attack move. Some of them just bring down, like, the person's meter at the bottom. As you see, the little balls at the bottom where that's your striker right there. Alright, so let's go talk graphically. Okay. King of Fighters 99 had some really nice looking backgrounds. A lot of them changed every round. Here, well, it's a mixed bag. While the animation of the characters is pretty nice, the backgrounds are considered. Like this background here, you have the dimly lit aquarium right here. Now, the animation of the water, the aquarium, the marine life is okay, don't get me wrong. But it's not up to your usual high SNK standard. It looks like it was kind of like thrown together at the last moment. And it just doesn't represent the King of Fighters' usual high standard fare backgrounds and all. That's just in my opinion. And there's a couple other backgrounds that are kind of like weird or inconsistent, considering this game takes place in the fictional town of Southtown. Like, there's an Egyptian stage. I don't even know how that comes into play, but it's just weird. I'll show you right here is your counter mode. You can keep on using the special moves like I told you. You do certain cancels with it. Armor mode, like I described before, you go into like a yellow type of, what do you call it, type of color. And basically you can just walk into punches and kicks and stuff like that and all. More of an aggressive, offensive type of maneuver, because you can just walk into people and start just going at them, even though you might cause you damage, but it's just not going to knock you back. Whereas counter might be a little bit more strategic. God, she's annoying. I hate this one character. She's just fucking annoying. So you have some new characters in here, like Vanessa, the boxer, which is really cool. You have Seth, the bodyguard, who's okay. You have Linda Ninja. He's kind of like a ninja, but he's got like kind of like a mummy type of wrapping, which is kind of weird. Shit, who's the other fool? Can't think of his name offhand. Not Seth, but I can't think of his name offhand. But it's the Ramon. He is alright. He's like a Mexican wrestler. He's okay, but very limited. Like, here's the stage I was talking about. Where the hell did Egypt come into play into this? I just don't get that, considering the whole game takes place in the Southbound. So, and then you have Kula, which she's okay, but like I said, it's a mixed bag. Really, other than, and then there's Hintaro, too. She's the schoolgirl, like, sumo wrestler, which is okay. Like I said, it's a mixed bag. Really, it's the ninja and, Vanessa who really steal the show as far as being the new cast of characters. So really, other than that, the other ones are kind of like a waste. Like they could have used or put together a new semblance of team. Now you got to remember something too. This was the final game by the old SNK, crew working on this bad boy, and I probably talked about it before, like when I've talked about Metal Slug 3, because Metal Slug 3 was the final Metal Slug before the bankruptcy, and so is this one as far as the bankruptcy is concerned, because the couple King of Fighters that were taken over were by Eolith, and it looks like they put some effort, but they didn't. I mean, I always brought up the saying of, like, if you know it's your last day on the job or the future of the company is going downhill, are you going to really put that much hard work into a game? Like, not to sound like a dickhead or nothing, but a lot of people would just consider that it'd be foolish, because the point is you're not going to probably be working there anymore. Why put the effort? Because different teams work on different games. Like, you have the Metal Slug team who went out with a bang, and here it seems they went out with a poof. Well, the game, like I said, is good. The control is decent and all that. But there's nothing here that shows, okay, this is our final game. Let's put our heart and soul into it, because, we don't know what's going on with SNK, because at that time, everything was so up in the air, whether they try and get back a lot of their IPs. And it was a big struggle for them to get their shit together. But that's why I always bring up that matter of fact. Like, a lot of people really do like the game, and I have no problem with it. I think it's a great game. But as far as and anything new to the genre, I can't. I mean, a lot of people argue with me, but that's just my opinion. It ain't add nothing to it. It's just got good, solid controls. It is a fun game to play, but again, it just doesn't add anything into the mix. It's just another King of Fighters game out in a time where kind of like 2D was really, really phasing out. It pretty much was phased out, what am I saying? And it just brought nothing to the bag other than just having a lot of characters and some good playability. And that's the one thing SNK is all really known for, is having well-made, fun games, and that are easy to play, but hard as shit to master. So, can you get this game anywhere else? Absolutely. My first actual play of this game was actually on the PS2 compilations and all, and it was okay. It was different considering playing 99, which tried to change things up, and some good, some bad. So, yeah, you can find this on the PS2. The Dreamcast in Japan has this one. I'm sure it's probably on some sort of downloadable virtual nonsense. And, it's pretty cheap for the MDS. Now, I got this for the AES, and that's what I'm playing on, but it's become really expensive. And the American version, if I'm not mistaken, has had a very limited release. And I believe it was done in conjunction with the what do you call them? Shit. The Neo Geo developers, or distributors, Badakis and the other dude. I can't think who the hell they are. Anywho, so from what I understand, there was only like 500 copies made, and I believe it went for at the time about $500. So now, if you supposedly try to find an American version of this, supposedly you're getting into Metal Slug 1 territory. You're talking into the close to $10,000 mark. And if you think I'm fucking with you, try and get this game. It's just really hard. Some people don't consider it a legit game by that particular distributor. I can't think of the fucking name. Damn, it eludes me, and I will think of that shit later too. But yeah, the thing is that if you can get it for the MVS, definitely go for it, because it's pretty damn cheap. You can find it for a reasonable price. You can find it all around the place. Just give it a try. You may like it, you may not. It more appeals towards the King of Fighters fan rather than just fighting game fans in general. So yeah, that's basically the only thing I can really say about it. So, but yeah, you should check it out, give it a try, see if you like it, and like I said, it's available for everything. So, it's pretty easy to come by. Best thing to do is probably get it for the compilation for the PS2. Since the Dreamcast one, you gotta possibly, you gotta import it, or, you know, try and find a US seller, and get the boot disc and all that other shit. So, yeah. But, if you can, if you like fighting games, and you like a large cast of characters and all, go for it. So, I'll leave you with a little bit more gameplay and I'm out. Alright then, take care.